This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Englewood, Colorado. We are at Wash on Wheels. Since 1985, they have been the top Denver pressure working business here along the Front Range, the metro area. I'm here with the president, Joel. First of all, Joel, let me ask you this. In 2006, basically you took on the company here. What got you involved in this type of industry, first of all?
I was looking for a business that would continue with all of the changes going on in technology. I wanted something that was going to last. It's the kind of business that people will always need our services.
Let's start off, first of all, regardless of what you're washing, you guys go in with the same quality service, personnel, and equipment. So share with us what kind of equipment you're sending out there on the road.
Well, each one of our trucks has 2 commercial hot water pressure washers. Sometimes you don't need hot water, sometimes you need soap, sometimes you don't need soap. We have custom degreasers, separate material to remove graffiti. So there's a lot of different materials that go along with the 3 guys and the equipment on the truck. Each truck has 500 gallons of water. So
these are commercial machines that are built to go all day if need be. What if something breaks down on a machine? Do you guys do all your repairs here in-house?
You bet. And that's the reason we have 2 machines on each truck, is to make sure that we can get the job done. Wow. And we have 6 crews. We've got 2 managers. So we've always got it to where if somebody calls us and needs to have something done, we're going to take care of it.
Wonderful. Let me ask you, with 28 years of experience out there, I manage you guys have developed probably some soaps and solutions that really the newbie competitor out there probably wouldn't be apprised of.
Exactly. Our soaps are custom built for us. We've kind of worked with a chemist over the years to get the process just right. And, we buy it in 55-gallon drums. Our tanks down there hold 150 gallons. Each one of our trucks usually has a 55-gallon drum on the truck. So special materials to do the job right.
Let's start off a little bit specifics here of what you guys have done for years. I got a car, you've got a car. If we need it washed, we go down to the car wash, get her done. But if you've got hundreds of cars that need to be done, they call in the professional, and that's you guys. You've taken care of fleets of cars. Is that one of your specialties? That's
probably the biggest portion of our business. We do most of the AutoNation dealerships, the Stevenson, Tynan's, the Phil Longs, Murray. We wash probably 10,000 cars a week.
My goodness, that's some serious moving some quick cars through there. What about things a little bit bigger than cars, heavy equipment, machinery? That's something you guys specialize. I imagine experience has to be number one here. We're talking about some dirty, greasy machines.
Very much so. We do, of course, a lot of the truck fleets, tractor trailers. We wash, for Comcast. We just picked up that contract, and we go all over the state for them, all the way from Pueblo to Greeley. So we wash, I don't know how many thousands of trucks they've got, all their installation vans. And then heavy equipment, that's kind of a specialty thing in itself, because they can be so greasy that, if you don't do it right, you're just splattering it back and forth and you'll never get it clean.
Speaking of a lot of grease like that, obviously the environment probably has to be a case. What do you do with the wastewater? Is that something you guys take care of as well, if need be?
In 2010, the EPA expanded their regulations concerning how pressure washing is done, and you have to be able to recover the water, so you can't just wash things down the storm drain. I know when we were growing up, nobody even thought of that. I remember clean your radiator out and just let it go down the drain. You never even thought about it. But now you have to collect the water and dispose of it properly, and we have a couple of trailers that we do that with, specially designed to collect it and, go through the filters. You have to have the permits with all the different organizations, the wastewater companies, and you have to do it right.
So basically your clients have the peace of mind knowing that it's being done right, and that's got to be great for them. I drive around many times. I look at some large buildings, warehouses, many times wonder how the heck they clean those things. I find out it's you guys that actually come in and do things like that. Is that right?
You bet. We've got a lot of jobs where we rent a lift and go up 20, 30 feet in the air. We had a big $15 million cabin we cleaned up in the mountains here a few years ago, and we had I think it was like a 75-foot boom lift, because we had to go over the river to get out and reach this house. And you have to be able to have the experience, be able to work with that kind of stuff, because obviously the construction companies, they don't want somebody on site who's going to cause them a problem. So you have to have the safety gear to strap yourself in, how to do the procedure and do it safely. That's another thing. You got to be able to do the job right, but you have to do it safely while you're there.
A lot of challenges you guys take on your shoulders to make sure everything's clean. Speaking of construction, you said there, you guys actually clean up complete construction sites, parking lots, sidewalks, pavements, driveways, all the above.
We do a lot of shopping centers all the way from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins and Greeley. And this is the kind of stuff you have to go out at night. I mean, you can't be out washing the sidewalks when people are shopping. So, we do it after the stores are closed. We clean the backs of a lot of restaurants. And again, you have to do it when they're not open. So, a lot of that, cleaning the outside of buildings or cleaning up the sidewalks around the businesses, we do a lot of that.
Working around the clock always. Let me ask you, when you're talking about buildings or warehouses, are we talking about exterior only, or do you guys also offer interior?
Well, we do, like say a vacant warehouse. We've done a lot of that. We had a heavy-duty equipment shop that was a 24-hour operation where they kind of closed off a section of the building, and we did this over a series of weeks. We would clean, because they were getting diesel smoke up in the top, all over the walls. So we just kind of cleaned a section at a time.
Many times, Joel, obviously you guys are doing a lot of cleanup for folks that just basically naturally happens. But what about a business out there that finds themselves in a situation where they didn't get it dirty, they didn't want it that way? I'm talking about graffiti. Are you able to get in there and remove that as well?
You bet. And that's kind of a specialized skill. Not all of our crews can do that. We have to teach them right. For example, we do a 100-year-old building over by DU, and that's real soft brick, the old stuff. Okay. You can't just go in there with high pressure and blast it off. I've seen that so often where some amateur will go in there, and I mean, that's permanent damage to the building. You need to know the right procedures to be able to get it off. And if it's not something that we can get off and do a good job, we're going to tell you. Some instances you just have to paint over it. Absolutely. But, we've been doing it long enough that if it can be done, we can take care of it for you.
So you're definitely going to remove what needs to be removed and not remove the whole exterior.
And not damage the underlying surface, exactly.
Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. That is Wash on Wheels. Basically, on the website, you're going to get a good idea of a lot of the services they provide. I've touched on a few of them here, but quite honestly, be it a mine or a specialty, you name it, these guys have taken care of quite a few things over 28 years in the business. And also keep in mind, check out those letters of recommendation. That's very important when you're bringing on a company like this. You want to make sure they get in on time, they get the job done right, and also they do it right the first time. Speaking of these recommendations you guys have out there, right now I'm scrolling across the TV screen a sampling of the hundreds of businesses that really have trusted you guys with their image. Why do you think that is, and why do you think they come back?
I think one of the hardest things about businesses now is it's too easy for anybody to put up a website and they look like they're a legitimate business. And that's part of the reason I have so many letters on ours is we want people to know that we've been doing these things for years. Every year we could do the Sneagrab wash for the Sports Authority. The Denver Post calls us to wash their train that they do every year for the Shine Frontier Days. And these are things that they have to be done this day at this time and done right. And we've built up a reputation where those businesses can count on us to do it. So they keep calling us because why should they gamble on somebody when they know we're going to take care of them?
Speaking of image out there, I see a lot of automobiles with their image plastered across the vans, the trucks. What happens when it comes time to get rid of that image? They need to remove those. You guys take care of that decal removal as well, and that's quite a process.
That can be a real challenge, especially on some of the decals that have been on there for so long and they've kind of faded and it's like they've almost become a part of the paint. So that can be a process, but we do full detail service on boats and higher end cars. We don't really try to compete with the little guys that do the $50, $60 detail because we're kind of set up on a volume. We need to do things at a higher scale, but some of the like we do a lot of boats. We had one in here yesterday, and you'll have 2 or 3 guys buffing on a boat to get it done. So once you've got that skill to be able to deal with different surfaces, and with all the skill we've had with degreasers or glue removal, then the decals, we can deal with that because we've just dealt with a lot of different processes over the years.
Wonderful. Over the years, folks, that is since 1985, basically in 2006, we've got a president here that will continue on that quality service of Wash on Wheels. Keep in mind, they're the Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating. They have won that gold star 3 years in a row. And quite honestly, those folks out there that you see the recommendations from, those are real companies that basically have been wowed by Wash on Wheels. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.